Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Tuesday the 27th, and today was a beautiful day outside weather-wise. Started off with a little bit of overcast, sun came out nicely, warmed up I think into like probably the low 50s like that. Never really looked at the temperature I guess per se, but it was warm enough that I was walking around without a jacket a large part of the day, except when I was out for long periods. I went to like the dog park. I ended up having my coat put back on, but it was not real bad. So woke up this morning, had a handful of things to do. I kind of last night, like, I don't know, I haven't been sleeping worth a damn, and sometime last night I just like passed out. It was like the weirdest thing. Like I just literally, next thing I know, I thought I was watching Netflix. Next thing I know, it's like 3 or 4 hours later as I'm moving around to reposition myself, and I was gone. So then I woke up and I couldn't get back to sleep. I had that tossing and turning crap going on the whole time, and got up this morning, finally said to hell with it. Needed to go see my chiropractor and see if I could get him to kind of put me back in shape a little bit more, and so I could sleep a little better. It's the biggest thing there. Also wanted to look at my ankle, see if he could tell me if it's something, interesting that I can like change by different therapies or whatnot, whatever. If he thinks it's more of a long-term injury or something I can keep running through, whatever. So I got things done around here, headed up to Des Moines, ended up stopping off at a couple of the care centers / elderly homes or assisted living, whatever you want to call them, and let Bruce see some of the old people in that. We usually try and hit the Alzheimer's wards mostly. They just don't get nearly the visitors that the rest of the assisted living does. So it's kind of a little simple thing we can do to give back. One of the places we stopped at, we have a good time with, and there's a lady in there who was an animal hoarder at one point. It's one of the reasons why she got moved into that facility is she had I think like 70 some animals at one point. So anytime I bring Bruce by, she's always gets like super excited about seeing him, and always makes me feel really good. She tries to kind of sneak him into a room like, oh, he can stay here with us, and if you ever need somebody to babysit him, we'll be happy to watch him and he can stay here. And she's always trying to talk me into letting him stay kind of thing. It's always kind of funny. Unfortunately today though, she's been sick and she wasn't able to come out. Just a flu, nothing really major, but she wasn't able to see him, and that made me feel, I don't know, made me feel bad because I haven't been there that much. I've been kind of busy off and on this winter, different stuff, but then I was sick for a while and I wasn't sure I was over all the germs yet, and I didn't want to spread it into those type of facilities because when it gets in there, it's so hard to get it out of those facilities. I want to make sure I was 100% with that. So went ahead, just had a good time, had a lot of fun there. Went to their place. Some other people, had a good time. Some people are not really dog people. They just never were. Other people are like, I love dogs from way over there. Don't bring the dog that close kind of thing. And then got down at those places and stuff. Headed to Des Moines. Hit my chiropractor up. Also hit up my barber. Got my hair cut. The barber shop actually lets me bring the dog in, so it's kind of cool. So Bruce went in the barber shop with me and stuff and hung out there, get my hair cut, which is always a fun time. It's an old school barbershop where you just kind of, whoever opens up the chair next, you got to kind of get in their chair. And there's 4 people who cut hair there, usually 3 per day. And there's one guy there I'm not a fan of. Like, it's just that, and it's like the last 3 times I've caught the guy, and it's not he's a bad guy, he's a nice enough guy and stuff, but he's just, last time I was there, every time it's been a little worse and a little worse. And last time he took 3 separate phone calls from the same guy just trying to ask for directions to get to his house. And he'd be on the phone for like 5 minutes at a time. So it's 15 minutes after my haircut. And it's one of those things where he was, on the phone over here and he's like, just, I don't know. It was just annoying at that point. I'm thinking until he got it by a GPS, print him out, MapQuest, or where the hell it needs to be. But 15 minutes of my haircut time just was too much for me to take. I was like, come on, man. And I was trying to figure out how to go about. I almost called up and asked what day does he not work so I can make sure I don't hit him. Got there today, and the way the haircuts were going, I thought I was going to get the owner of the shop. I'm like, hey, I'm cool with that. There's a female barber there. I was cool with her either one. I've had her cut my hair once before. The owner's cut my hair a handful of times. The 4th guy who works there, I've never had him cut my hair, but we talked quite a bit. Real nice guy. And then it was looking like I was going to open up to the guy I hated. And I was like, okay, I kind of was going to put my foot down and say, I'll wait. I'll wait. Because we don't have much in common. I usually end up talking to one of the other guys in the shop, the owner, the other guy working there all the time. Anyway, it's that weird spot where you're in somebody else's chair talking to the other guy across the way. And it's just, I don't know, it's weird. And I don't like the way he cuts my hair that much. It's just a whole big thing. But it's that little bit of guy code where you're like, damn it, I mean, how do you get, not look like a dick to be like, I don't want that dude cutting my hair. So I think he might have sensed that last couple of times I've been there. Like, I literally didn't tip him last 2 times, which is not me at all. I'm usually like a $5 tipper, kind of thing, which is not like I'm some kind of giant big shot, but I don't go that often, so I kind of make up the fact I'm not there that often with a nice tip. And it was one of those things where I was just like, I haven't tipped him last 2 times, and especially last time when 15 minutes added to it and 3 phone calls is ridiculous, dude. So I was going to speak up this time. Luckily, I think he kind of drug his feet to make it a little slower, and then went ahead and the lady opened up, so I ended up with her, which was fine because the gentleman that owned the shop, he got done with his haircut first, but there was somebody else in line already for him. So he had a little boy go up in his chair. All worked out fine, no big deal at all. Luckily, I didn't have the guy. And apparently, I'm not the only one who doesn't want him cutting my hair, because there's another gentleman who came in who clearly would have been in his chair, and he waited to get up to his haircut by the female. So I don't know if once you make the proclamation that you don't want the dude cutting your hair, they'll just automatically rotate you out of him or what. So like I said, there was another guy came in who could have sat in his chair and nothing was said. He just waited until the owner of the shop got his haircut done and stepped up in there. So it's one of those things, I guess maybe I just have to just tell him, and hopefully I won't ever have to make that conversation. That's kind of have got the point that I'm not tipping them. I used to be tipped $5 a haircut. I'm not tipping that dude at all. That maybe it's time to not just put me in his chair, to make the extra $5 tip for somebody else. So that all worked out good. Went from there, went down to the dog park, hung out at the dog park. Quite a few dogs there. Nice day today. It was muddy and stuff. Had a great time. Everybody got along great. The dogs were having such a good time. A couple showed up at the end when I was leaving with like I'm gonna guess 3-month-old at most, little tiny pup, and the signs clearly say, I think it's like 6 months old or more for even allowed in the building stuff, or in the park. And they were like that, trying to chase dogs away from their dog the whole time. They had him on a leash the whole time and stuff, and they're like yelling at their dog, get away, no. I'm like, dude, you're at a dog park. If you don't want your dog being near other dogs, get the fuck out of the dog park. So I just went ahead and called Bruce back over, hooked him up, and took off, which we've been there long enough. It was time to be going anyway, so got that done. Hit Krispy Kreme up for a couple dozen donuts. I bought a couple dozen off Groupon, and I thought they were just the plain old, regular Krispy Kreme donuts. And the lady asked me what ones I wanted, and I'm like, for the variety thing? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I thought it was regular. So she went ahead and grabbed me 2 dozen variety pack. Tori just randomly grabbed me some. I had no idea. Tori didn't like jelly, so she saved from that. I should have said no sprinkles too, but I forgot. So I ended up with like 3 donuts with sprinkles. Not a big deal. I'll knock off the big parts of sprinkles and move on. So had a couple of the Valentine's donuts I just produced. There's one that looks like a little ladybug. It's kind of a really cute little thing. If you're into that kind of stuff, like if you're having a party or something like that, been a great little Valentine's Day party donut, which would have been awesome. So went ahead and had that done. Just hung out, went and bought myself a new toolbox at Home Depot. There was one I'd chosen that I really wanted for quite a while, and I just kept putting it off, and tried to buy it a couple times. I was up there, 2 months ago maybe, something like that, maybe 3 months ago, and with a friend of mine, we had their Jeep, and wasn't sure if it fit in the back of the Jeep or not. We were kind of trying to measure and trying to decide if it'd go or not and that kind of thing. Put it off, so I'll go up there later. Went up there one time to buy it. Everybody had them out of stock. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Got there today, and they had the one I was wanting was more like a bench style, like a real long, short toolbox. This one's a little bit shorter, but it's like 3 times as tall. It's a giant double stacker, and it was on sale like $250 off normal price. So end up being like $20 more than the one I was wanting, but it's like $300, $250 less than what it would have been. So I went ahead and went with that. It's a little bit slightly less quality. The drawers or the bearings aren't quite as nice, but I'm not planning on putting tons of heavy tools in there. I'm not going to be using it, 50 times, 100 times an hour kind of thing. Like if I was a real mechanic in and out of there all the time, that was my living, I would probably went with a better toolbox. Actually, one wasn't even better than I was looking at anyway. But it seems to work pretty good. Got it loaded up. I actually got it bought, headed out to the van. They asked me if I wanted help loading it. So yeah, it's a big ass toolbox. I'd appreciate that. Went outside waiting for him, pulled the van up, waiting for him, never heard anybody. Finally went back inside. Actually, a lady came out who helped me load it up on the cart. Kind of goes, anybody help you load it yet? And I'm like, nope, nobody yet. She's like, went back inside. I'm like, you could help me. It's not that bad. So she headed back inside to get somebody else, and I waited there for a long time. Went back in and basically, kind of asked the cashier. I'm like, hey, anybody coming out here to help me? She goes, nobody did yet? I said, no, not yet. So I gave up, and I basically looked at my watch, and I said, I'm going to give them 15 minutes. I've already waited probably 20 minutes, and if I don't get out here in 15 minutes, I was going to turn around, haul it in, say refund my damn money, and I'll go somewhere else and buy the toolbox. It was not that big a deal to me, but it was just annoyance of I hate incompetency. The lady running the cashier, to check out and stuff. Super nice lady came out. She goes, "Anybody help you?" I said, "Nope." And so she grabbed the other end, grabbed the toolbox, threw it up in there. And it's pretty bad when the females having to help me and not the dudes there and stuff. And if I would have said I got a bad back, what would they have done? I mean, she would have had to wait for somebody else to come out. Would have been a pain in the ass. So she helped me load up both pieces. The one piece was pretty heavy. She played with Bruce for quite a bit when she first got there because he was in the van. So she's all playing with the dog. She's a giant dog lover, and she's like roughhousing the dog, and he's having a good time. So we talked a little bit about his past story, the abuse, the neglect, and that kind of stuff in the first part. So she thanked me for I guess rescuing the dog and having so much time with him, that kind of thing. So it made me feel good there. We chatted a little bit, different little things, stuff, and just kind of talked for a few minutes. Really super nice lady. Packed up and stuff, headed out, and then hit Little Caesars for a hot $5 hot and ready. So brought that back. I had a couple slices on the way home, and then I was talking to my mom here the other day about it. She's never had one of those, so I figured I'd take the rest to her, let her have the other half the pizza or so. So we'll go from there. So that was pretty much my whole day. I have not ran yet. It's closing in on that 11:15ish mark right now. I'm going to take off running here in just a few minutes. I'm going to change real quick in my running gear. It's cold as crap right now. Get changed to my thermals, and I'm going to go run. I'm going to run my run for today before midnight, reset my watch, run for my run for tomorrow at midnight, so I won't have to actually go out for a run again. Try and let this ankle heal up. The doc told me I'm supposed to take like 6 weeks off of running, and then he looked at me, I looked into his cross-eyed look, and he started laughing, and I started laughing. He knew it wasn't going to happen. So I've got my ankle all taped up. He told me not to take tape off. I think it's like 4 days or some shit like that. I'm supposed to leave it on. And then he said it starts to blister with the running I'm doing to pull the tape off, or not leave it on the whole time. So hopefully I can get this baby healed up. I'm not going to go very far, and I'm not going to go very fast. I'm just going to go out and just get my run streak, keep it alive, and move on from there. So talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.